Donald Trump appeared to be in state of panic Tuesday morning after the House Oversight Committee voted to move forward with the deposition of Ghislaine Maxwell. Just as the House was preparing to vote on deposing Ghislaine Maxwell, Donald Trump reportedly ordered his Attorney General Pam Bondi and her deputy Todd Blanche, who also happens to be Trump's personal criminal defense lawyer, to meet with Maxwell immediately. Think about the timeline. Trump moves to block the action file. The House pushes back by voting to depose Maxwell. And Trump sent his own defense attorney general, whom he installed at the DOJ, to talk to her. It raises a serious question: what exactly are they discussing? A pardon, a retrial, a gag order? As commentators like Carl have pointed out, this is starting to look like Operation Anything but release the absent file. Instead of transparency, Trump is deploying loyalists to get ahead of whatever Maxwell might say under oath. Meanwhile, the FBI already has the file, reportedly 300 gigabyte worth. The solution is simple: release them. And while all this was happening, Trump was also trying to grab headlines for something else entirely, taking credit for firing of Stephen Colbert. Donald Trump is now openly boasting about getting late night host fired, saying, Jimmy Kimmel, you are next, and warning, Fallon, I am confirmed after you. While Paramount and its new parent company, Skydance, try to distance themselves from Colbert firing, Trump is out here taking credit, claiming the word is camel will be the next to go and proudly adding, I hope I had a major part in it. If you are looking for textbook fascism, here is it. A former president actively working to silence comedian critical of him, while strenuously directing the Department of Justice to intercept Ghislaine Maxwell just as the House voted to depose her. Instead of pushing for public transparency, Trump reportedly ordered thousands of FBI agents to comb through the absent file, not to release them to public, but to flag every instance where his name appears, given his well-documented ties to absent. It's one of clearest examples yet of abuse of power. Trump's handpicked Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, his former defense attorney in the criminal case where Trump was convicted on 34 felony counts, now says justice demands courage. The irony could not be more striking. For the first time, the Department of Justice is reaching out to Ghislaine Maxwell to ask, what do you know? Under Attorney General Pam Bondi direction, DOJ officials have contacted her legal team and say they plan to meet with her soon. No one is above the law and no lead is off limits, they claim, but maybe this sudden urgency is not about justice at all. The Samfina, the House Oversight Committee, just approved for Maxwell, with the panel officially voting to compel her testimony. It looks lot more like the DOJ is scrambling to get orders ahead of Congress. Maybe that's why you suddenly want to speak to her, because Donald Trump told you to see what she knows. And let's not forget, you are not just any DOJ official, you are his former criminal defense attorney, very person tasked with shielding Trump from prosecution. From Attorney General Pam Bondi stated, the Department of Justice does not shy away from uncomfortable truths, nor from the responsibility to pursue justice wherever the facts may lead. She affirmed that the joint DOJ and FBI statement from July 6, which declared no evidence was found to investigate uncharged third party after through reviews of Afghan files remains as accurate to today as it was written. The speaker then expressed skepticism, highlighting that President Donald Trump, who they describe as sexual abuser, a felon, a criminal of fraud, is now positioned as the arbiter of credible evidence. They question this sentence especially in light of documented instances such as 14-year-old girl being brought to Mar-a-Lago by Epson and Ghislaine Maxwell, and the case of Virginia Gaffrey, who was subsequently sex trafficked by Epson after being discovered there. The speaker concludes by calling the situation absolutely wild. If Ghislaine Maxwell has information about anyone who committed crime against victim, the FBI and DOJ will listen to what she has to say. Oh, they will listen. Will they? This does not sound like justice. It sounds like a threat, especially considering Maxwell is currently appealing to Supreme Court based on that shady non-prosecution agreement brokered by Trump former Labor Secretary Alex Acosta. That deal essentially gave immunity to Epson and his co-conspirator commission is not it. How are we supposed to trust this process? Let's rewind just a few weeks. This is exactly what many of us predicted. A coordinated strategy to do everything except release the absent files. Judd Legum called it Operation Do Anything But Release the File. And now, mega like Johnson shut down Congress, giving Trump exactly what he asked for space to figure things out. Those were his exact words. I covered it earlier. He later said, we need to give Trump space. What was the space for? Well, now we know. As soon as other mega Republicans started pushing to Sampona and depose Ghislaine Maxwell, suddenly Trump's DOJ and FBI leap into action to talk to her first. What are they trying to get ahead of? And then we have Mike Johnson giving his little sermon, pretending this is really about moral value. I am religious man. He says we need to act with moral authority. We need to protect the victim. No, Mike, you are not protecting the victim. You are shedding the powerful. You are re-victimizing the very people you came to care about. And then this morning, right after suspending congressional action, Jones held a press conference and said, we cannot be careless with an open release. We have to protect the victim. Now you are protecting the perpetrators. Here's play the clip.
We protect the innocent. So we cannot be careless in an open release like that. You have to be very careful. The president himself has said that he wants maximum transparency and all credible evidence to be turned over to the American public so that everyone can make their own decisions. We're owed that. And we want any individual who has been involved in any way in the Epstein evils to be brought to justice as quickly as possible. And the law should be brought down upon their head.
And then you have got mega like Johnson say, this is about moral authority. No, Mike, it's about delay and deflection. He tries to claim we are not selling anything, we are just doing what's the best for the country. Really? That's your defense? Watch how he tries to clock at all in morality, framing political covers up as some kind of righteous stand. Listen to his exact words. He leans on this idea of moral authority as if that justifies black and transparency. Here's play the clip.
No, but I, as you all know, I speak to the president multiple times a day on a typical day, often, always. And what I know about the president's heart on this is that he agrees with everything I've said here today. He wants maximum transparency, but he's also very insistent that we do not subject people who have already been victims of unspeakable crimes to further public scrutiny. And it would be a very dangerous thing to put those people's names out or to do a release of information in a way that is haphazard where they could be easily unmasked. And so you have to be very careful about how you do that. I think we have a moral responsibility to do that. We have a moral responsibility to expose the evil of Epstein, and everybody was involved in that. Absolutely. And we're resolved to do it. But we also have an equal moral responsibility to protect the innocent. And that is a fine needle to thread. And we could all give ourselves easy political cover and come out and do something in a haphazard fashion, but I would not be able to sleep at night because I know our legal responsibility. I understand what the legal standard is, but more than that, the moral.
Just to fill you in, there are few other things just happening this morning as well. FEMA's chief to urban search and rescue has just resigned, reportedly moments ago following growing frustration over the issue you have been reporting on here. CNN initially reported that FEMA's urban search and rescue team was not activated until 72 hours after the flash flood in Texas. Ken Pagre, who led FEMA's urban search and rescue division, overseeing the nationwide network of rapid response disaster team, has now resigned. According to the report, the teams were ready to deploy immediately, but were delayed due to directive from Christine Noem, who is acting as the Secretary of the Homeland Security. She reportedly required her personal approval for any emergency, spending over 1 lakh, which held up the response. And clearly, deploying an urban search and rescue team costs well over $1 lakh, yet Christine Noem did not approve the authorization for 72 hours. As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, rightly put it, and how every editor-in-chief across the country should be forming it, this was an inaccessible. Christine Noem repeatedly misled the public in press conference and television appearances, denying her role in the delay. But this confirmed it. The full 3 day holds up was entirely her responsibility. And yet, the person stepping down is not here, but head of the urban search and rescue, the man who was ready to save lives, lives that might have been saved had it not been for her inaction. Instead, Naomi, a woeful, unqualified official playing cross up in a leadership role, continues to travel with her rumored partner from the Trump circle. As our editor in chief, Ron Flisswet, put it, it's beyond outrageous. Meanwhile, while all of this unfolds, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent reassured the public with voyage promises, saying not to worry, trade deals are just around the corner. Trump's greatest deals are coming. Sure, roll the clip.
You've talked a lot about lots of deals in the works. When might we see those?
I think you're going to see him in the next couple of days, Maria. I was in the Oval with the president yesterday, and again, he's applied this maximum pressure strategy. He sent out this group of letters to our trading partners and said, congratulations, here's your rate, unless you want to come and negotiate. And again, no one creates leverage like President Trump. It brought our trading partners to the table in a very fulsome way. So we just got this Indonesian deal, which was incredible. And I saw the first draft of the deal, and we ended up with the fifth draft. And thanks to President Trump, it got better every time.
Come on, no one's buying it anyone more. You really think the American people are that stupid? That's exactly why the Trump regained approval rating are crashing. We see through the game. We know exactly why you want to meet the Ghislaine Maxwell before her deposition. Just release the files. It's obvious. We know what really happened with the urban search and rescue delays. Christine Noem is directly responsible, and her inaction likely cost life. People are still missing in Texas. And let's not pretend that Trump has delivered on trade. There are no real deals, no international progress, just more damage to America's standing. That's why this regime is losing support fast. People are waking up.